What's up, people on the internet? JQL here, back from the video. In today's video, I have another custom LEGO video on my custom LEGO minifigures of Spider-Man. They're not really from specifically anything. I mean, some of them are, but yeah, just a bunch of Spider-Man figures I thought I'd show off that I made recently. Funny story, I couldn't see No Way Home until like a week after it was originally released. So during that time, I had literally nothing else to do. So I made a bunch of Spider-Man figures before the movie came out, and yeah, it was a lot of webbing, a lot of tedious detail, but totally worth it. I'm really glad I made these guys, and yeah, so, one or two of these I actually made after the movie. But anyway, without further ado, let's just get started with this video. Alrighty, let's start off with Miles Morales, Spider-Man. One of two figures I've made of Miles in this video. But yeah, this figure is actually inaccurate, but I don't really care, because it's a combination of the Into the Spider-Verse design and the Across the Spider-Verse design. We saw his suit briefly in the trailer that came out not too long ago, actually, at the time of recording this, at least. And yeah, so I combined basically the entire Into the Spider-Verse verse design. Pretty much the whole design is on this figure, except for the spider logo on the front and the back. I did use the Across the Spider-Verse design there for this figure, so I just thought I'd mention that. So it is inaccurate, but I like combining the designs because I like this more than either one of the designs on their own. So yeah, I guess pretty much all the figures in this video are just fully painted by me. I didn't sculpt much on these guys because there really wasn't a need to. You know, it's Spider-Man. I don't want to bulk them out or anything. You know, I like keeping them slim, just painting everything. And yeah, all the webbings were painted in a gray color. Didn't want it. I wanted the webbings to, you know, be there, but I didn't want to use like black paint so you can't see it. So yeah, glad I used gray. I think it works very well. And yeah, another thing I did, especially with this figure, is I actually made the eyes like I added like a blue line in the eyes, like his eyes do in the movie, and I think it turned out all right. It's my first time doing it, and I think it just looks all right. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this version of Miles figure. It's not much else to talk about with this guy, so let's just move on to the next figure. Alright, leading off these PS4 figures, here is Miles from his... Actually, I think it was a PS5 game, now that I think about it. But, yeah, here's his figure. I made another version of Miles, and I think it turned out pretty good. Not the best figure I've ever made, but, yeah, I definitely prefer my Into the Spider-Verse figure more. Mainly because I kind of like the design of that one more. But, overall, this figure, the differences, obviously, are the red webbings instead of gray. He has red webbings in the game. The face is fully painted. Everything is fully painted here. The only difference between this one and the last one is the wrists. I did paint, or well, rather sculpt out of Procreate around his wrists. That way I can add his web shooters there. They're just painted. They aren't 3D or anything. But I thought I'd do that with this version and the PS4 Spider-Man suit. And yeah, another thing that's different is I used various shades of black to paint some of the detail, because there's a lot of detail on this suit. It's just you can't really see it because most of it's like hidden with different shades of black. So I decided to do that here, and I think it turned out pretty good. I mean, most of it's still hidden, but for the most part, I'm pretty happy with it. Another thing I did with this figure is I actually gave it another head. This head is actually from Nate's Minifigs. He has some of these Spider-Man masks that he sells on his site, and I decided to paint one up for the Miles figure, the Tobey Maguire figures, and the the normal Spider-Man figure from PS4. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. I kind of prefer it, at least the paint job, compared to the head that I made. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to use these for every single Spider-Man figure. I just thought there'd be some exceptions here and there. I'm also kind of running low, so yeah, definitely gotta stock up more on these once he restocks, or if he ever restocks, I don't know. But anyway, that's pretty much it for Miles from the PS5 4 game, whatever you want to call it. Alright, here is the Peter Parker Spider-Man from PS4. This is actually like my 6th or 7th version of this suit. I've made so many PS4 suits. I'll leave a bunch of pictures of them right here on the side if I remember to, but yeah, and this one is definitely the best version, mainly because the spider logo, I just could never get it right. Was never satisfied with it, but now I'm somewhat satisfied. I mean, it could still use a little work, but for the most part, it's definitely better than any previous version that I've made. And yeah, so the spider logo is painted on the front and back with white paint, and you guys know the drill by now. White paint sucks, and yeah, so I try my best to you know, make it somewhat cooperative, but yeah, it still wasn't very cooperative. But for the most part, I think it turned out okay. Web shooters, same thing with Miles. I sculpted them out of Procreate, then painted the web shooters on there. And yeah, every little detail here is just painted by me. And yeah, it was a pain in the butt. And just to show off real quick with the other Spider-Man mask from Nate's minifigs, sorry. Yeah, fully painted it. I probably just gave myself more extra work to do by painting that much webbing, but yeah, I just wanted it. I think it looks pretty cool with them on. So I also painted like some blue details using metallic blue, so that way it's like hidden, but then when you shine the light on it, then you can see it, kind of. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the PS4 suit. And I literally, right after finishing this, I realized he actually has a new suit in the next game. And yeah, I'm not gonna make that suit because I already made this guy. So yeah. All right, here is the Tobey Maguire homemade suit. This one, like, it's a very simple figure, but I really like how he turned out. Basically, the mask is a Nate's Minifigs mask. Originally, it was just the ones with two holes, like, for the eyes, not the whole, you know, thing cut out. I actually modified it so that way I can have the whole thing cut out. And then I painted the eyes under there, and then I painted the ring, not really a ring, but just the around the eyes shape thing. Then I painted on the torso. I basically just used the red torso and painted the black, then painted the webbing, and then painted the spider logo. And it's not super clean, but for the most part it works. Legs painted. I painted his Nikes and the red lines are on his side of his leg. Then I painted the spider logo on the back and painted the gloves. They're like, I think he wears gardening gloves or whatever. And I also sculpted the around his wrists. So yeah, very simple figure, but I'm really happy with how he turned out. And here we have the version 2 of my Sam Raimi suit. Personally, I kind of prefer the old version a little more. Something bad happened to it. I don't want to talk about it. It makes me cry. But yeah, I still have the pizza box though, fully painted. And yeah, I lost the original figure. Well, not really lost it. There's a whole story, but I don't want to talk about it because it just makes me sad. But anyway, this figure was fully 100% hand painted by me. And yeah, as you can tell, it uses a Nate's Minifigs Tobey Maguire mask, and I fully painted it using silver paint this time because I wanted to differentiate it from my black suit, which I'll talk about in a second. But yeah, I'm just not too happy with this figure. I think it turned out just okay. I'm happy I managed to paint all the webbing on using silver paint, but I kind of wish I used gunmetal instead. Gunmetal just works a little bit more for this suit, at least in my opinion. But yeah, I'm happy with the fact that I managed to paint on all the webbing, but I don't know, just didn't turn out the way I wanted. And the spider logo could be a little smaller. It's supposed to be way smaller, actually. But it's just pain in the butt. Painting the spider logo over the webbing and all that. Because I paint the base torso red, then I paint the blue, then I paint the webbing, then I paint the spider logo, and that's a pain in the butt. Especially if I do mess up, then I have to restart the entire torso, which I don't want to do. So yeah, I had to do it like 2 or 3 times with this guy, but totally worth it, I guess. Some people seem to like it, so I'm glad, but it's not my favorite figure in this video. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this suit. And here is the black suit. Personally, I think it turned out better than the original suit, but yeah, again, uses Nate's Minifigs cowl, mask thing, whatever you want to call it, and I painted the entire thing black, and then painted all the gunmetal webbing. And gunmetal paint, at least the paint I use, is very thick. It's not easy to use, and it's a pain in the butt to paint all the webbing. And in fact, some places are still a little there are imperfections here and there. But overall, I think it turned out pretty great. I'm really happy with how it turned out. And yeah, so the spider logo on the front is made out. I basically used gray paint instead because I think it just makes it stand out a little bit more. I could just paint over it using gunmetal, but then it would be kind of lost in the webbing around it. So that's why I like painting like spider logos that aren't the same color as the webbing. So that's a pro tip. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the black suit. Really happy with how he turned out. Not much else to say. All right, here we have the Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man 2 figure. This figure, I'm really happy with how he turned out. I actually made another version like a week before the movie came out, and I'm not too happy with this version. I tried painting the texture pattern all over him. You kind of saw him in the intro, but yeah, just some places good, other places not so great. So I decided to not do the pattern this time, and I also decided to repaint the spider logo, because you can see there, spider logo is very bad on this figure. And yeah, so basically redid that and painted it in gray this time, so that way you can actually see it. And it's actually somewhat gray. It's not really gray in his actual suit, but I think it turned out pretty good overall. And this is probably one of my favorite figures, or at least Spider-Man figures I've ever made. Just happy with how I painted all the webbing, and you know, because the webbing on this, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 design is a little different from normal webbing. Normal webbing, you have to curve the line, but on like the torso example, it's just like straight lines. So that makes it a lot easier to paint. And I'm just really happy with how the spider logo looks. I normally suck at painting the spider logos, but yeah, I think it turned out pretty great. I also painted his eyes in silver rather than white. I just kind of like it a little bit more. And yeah, I'm really glad I made this version, but I kind of had to, because after seeing No Way Home, I just, like, how could I not, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it for this figure. Hopefully, I would love if Andrew returned. I just hope that he doesn't overshadow Tom Holland's Spider-Man. At least that's my opinion. And here we have the last figure, which is technically a spoiler, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to release this video way after No Way Home comes out. So yeah, this is the final suit we see in the movie, at the end of the movie, where Tom Holland makes his own suit finally. Well, Peter Parker, you know what I mean. And yeah, it's very comic book accurate. I was very surprised when I saw it, and yeah, part of me kind of misses the you know, the old Stark Tech suit, you know. Hang on, let me grab it. This guy right here, I'm gonna miss the suit, but I'm just really happy he's making his own suit, and it's so comic book accurate. It looks like he leaped out of the comics, so it's really cool. I like it, and yeah. So pretty much the whole figure was fully painted by me, like every single figure in this video. I basically painted all the webbings. I painted all the using red paint and all that, and the blue paint is actually a metallic blue with a very, very small amount of white that mixed into it, so that way it's somewhat lighter and not as shiny. I think it could be shinier, but I think this works. I didn't want it to be too shiny, and yeah, I think it turned out pretty great. Really, there wasn't a whole lot of reference that I found. Like, I don't know if he has any web shooters, so I didn't paint any web shooters on him. So yeah, that's a little unfortunate, but I'm sure we'll see more of the suit in the future, hopefully. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, and let's just wrap it up. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to give this video a like, and if you like what you see here and you want to see more custom minifigures made by me, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you have not already, so you'll be notified for my next video whenever that comes out. And I do post my figures finished on my Instagram, link in the description below. I post them there before I post them here, and I also do post work in progress photos of my figures there. So yeah, if that interests you, make sure to check that out. Again, link description below. And can't really describe how good No Way Home was. I'm so flabbergasted how good it was. But yeah, I'm just not gonna talk about it, because otherwise I can just gush about this movie for hours. But anyway, I'm just gonna end this video. Thank you guys once again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever video I'll be. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.